wonderful to be here, back on PBS with a brand new special on inspiration, your ultimate calling. There'll be a lot about inspiration here tonight, inspiring people, inspiring events, how to live an inspired life, how to attract spirit back into your life. Lots of things that are going to be very powerful for you. I encourage you to stay with it and call everyone you know and tell them to watch. We need more inspiration in this world. People that have inspired me have been, my children have been a great inspiration to me. I have 8 of them, 6 daughters, yes, and 2 sons. And back in the 1960s, when I was studying for my doctoral studies in Detroit at Wayne State University, I used to listen to music, and a group of kids came over to this country from a little town just outside of London called Liverpool. Some of you may have heard of them. And they used to sing a song, the Beatles did. It was called Will You Still Want Me? Will You Still Love Me? What? When I'm 64, right? And I used to think at that time in my 20s that I didn't really understand that song. Didn't think it would have any meaning at all. I thought no one even ought to be allowed to live that long. So it just didn't resonate to me. But then, lo and behold, it happened to me. Turned around and 64 was here. And I wasn't able to be with my children at the time of that birthday. I was speaking in Durham, North Carolina that night. And I got a package from them with a wonderful card in it for me. And I thought, you know, maybe all of this work that we've done with these children, with my wife and I, and trying to teach them about spirit and higher consciousness and loving and being close to God and spirit, was coming true, because they sent me this beautiful card. It said inside of this birthday card is a very special message from God. And I opened it up and it said, see you soon. Happy birthday. So, there it is. And my children have been a great source of inspiration to me. They have given me some of the best material I could ever have. I can remember one morning, I was making waffles for them, and I heard my daughters talking to each other, and they were doing very slow, and I had what I thought was really important things to do, and I encouraged her and all of them to, speed it up a little bit. Let's go. We've all got to get in the car. We've got deadlines. We've got to get to school. I've got to get to work. I'm a prophet. I have to go think and walk the beach. I get paid by the thought. You see. So I raised my voice a little bit, and I said something, and my daughter Serena took umbrage at what I had said, and I said, "Come on, let's go, get working, let's go, move, come on, I want to get to school, we've got to get to the school." And she just stood up and she put her hands on her hips and looked at me and said, "I wonder what all those people would think of Mr. Positive if they could see him here this morning." She turned around and looked at her sister, Summer, and said, "Would you buy a book from someone who yells at a 10-year-old child?" I write those down when they... So anyway, my children have always been great inspiration for me, and great teachers, and keep me very close to the ground and very humble. I want to begin this program on inspiration with a story about attitude and belief, because basically the idea of living an inspired life is one in which our attitudes become one of being in harmony with our source, with Spirit. Not too long ago, I was honored by Yeshiva University, the Einstein School of Medicine, with a wonderful tribute. It was called the Einstein Award, that is given to people whose work exemplifies some of the sort of philosophical views, rather than just necessarily the scientific views of Albert Einstein. And I was invited there, and I gave a lecture to the staff and did rounds and spent a day there at this wonderful School of Medicine in the psychiatric hospital in New York. But I felt that when I got there that maybe it would be important for me to explain to them about Einstein's theory of relativity, which I'm sure many of you watching don't really completely understand. That everything is really relative. I mean, there was a great Chinese philosopher who once said, his name was Lao Tzu, he said, I went to sleep and I dreamt that I was a butterfly. And then I awoke. And now I don't know. Am I a man who was dreaming that he was a butterfly? Or am I a butterfly dreaming that I'm a man? It could be either way. And Einstein said, it's all relative. It's all relative. And I thought about that, and I thought perhaps I could help these doctors and everyone to understand, since they were working at a place named after Dr. Einstein, I could explain to them about how to apply this theory. And I have a theory about relativity that goes like this. All things being relative, in a bowl of soup, this is a lot of hair. What do you think? Really? You understand? If you were in a restaurant and you ordered a bowl of soup and you got this much hair in it, you would call the waiter over and you would say, excuse me, what? That's a lot of hair. That's the way I look at it. All right? It's all relative, and it's all how you believe and what you believe. As we move into this idea of inspiration, I'd like to suggest to you that you have a mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing. It's not a program that's based on any religion or any particular view of spirit or God or soul. We can call it what we want. We all originate from the same source. This source acts in a certain way, is constantly creating. And whether you're a believer in one particular religious persuasion or another, all of us have to agree, even quantum physics teaches us, that we all originate in this divine place of an organizing intelligence. And Alan Watts, a great teacher, a man I admired enormously, once said that you can't get wet from the word water. The word itself, whether you call it water or vasa or aqua or Edna, it doesn't make any difference what you call it. It's the substance of what it is and not what we call something that I want you to pay attention to as we talk about spirit. And I'll use these terms interchangeably. Spirit, divine mind, organizing intelligence, God. All of these terms are terms that refer to the place from which we all came. And this idea of inspiration, if you look at the word inspiration, it breaks down to two words. In spirit. In spirit. And when we look at what it means to live an inspired life, it's nothing more, in my estimation, it's nothing more than finding a way for you to be in harmony with the spiritual essence from which you originated. Not just in your actions, not just in your feelings, and not just in your behaviors of attending church or being nice once in a while, in every single thought that you have. And I'd like to suggest to you that inspiration is not something that comes and goes. It's not something that you have one moment and then in the next moment it disappears. And this is a whole new look at inspiration. To me, inspiration is living in spirit at all times and catching ourselves when we find ourselves disconnected from the spirit from which all of us emanated. It's really thinking like God. It's being more in touch with that place of origination. It doesn't come and go. When you live an inspired life, you begin to feel as if you're on purpose. I guarantee you that at the end of this show, you will not have to ask the question, what is my purpose, and how do I find it, and where is it, and how come I can't get it, and why does somebody else have it, and I don't seem to get it. It always seems to elude me. These will no longer be the issues that face you about being inspired. It's really about living day in and day out from this divine perspective of watching every single thought that we have and catching ourselves when we have a thought that is inconsistent with that divine source from which we all came. So that if you have a thought that includes you and your family, but excludes someone else and their family, no matter where they are in the universe, no matter where they are, no matter what they look like, no matter what side of the river they were born on, no matter what their cultural background might be, if you have a thought that includes some and excludes others at any time, you're not in spirit.